Hello, my friends, and welcome to MSP Unplugged's Resource Thursday with Griffin IT. My name is Rick Smith, and I'll be your host for today. My co host, Mr. Paco Lebron, is out today. He is actually in Las Vegas, soaking up the nice sun there, but he actually is at the Channel Futures Conference, so he should be bringing us back some learnings and some things he figures out along the way. For TechCon Unplugged, excuse me, for MSP Unplugged, this is the place to learn tips, tricks, and strategies to help you run and grow your IT service business. Whether you're a one person shop or a more established business leading a team for the journey, this is the place for you. Now, before we meet our guests and dive into today's topic, I do need to give a quick public service announcement, and I have TechCon on the brain. And so, those of you who listen to the show often know that this is our normal public service announcement. I'm so excited, so I just voted it out a little earlier. But TechCon Unplugged is coming up September 7th to the 10th at the Delta Hotel in Woodbridge, New Jersey. Yes, folks, that's my backyard, and I'm hoping everyone finds their way there. Now, TechCon Unplugged is our annual gathering of IT business owners, techs, and vendors in the space. There you will learn from like-minded business owners in panels and breakout sessions, gain key takeaways from partners and vendors in the community. And my absolute favorite part of the event is you get to experience those one-on-one or spontaneous group conversations where great friendships are built, relationships are cultivated, and ideas are exchanged. Now, tickets are on sale at techconunplugged.com. We invite you to take advantage. We're in our second level of early bird pricing right now. Tickets are $299. That price is good until June 30th. For those of you who are members of the MSP Unplugged community, there is a discount code available for you. And for those of you listening to this particular episode, if you drop an email at info@mspunplugged.com and mention this episode, Griffin IT, excuse me, I'll drop you a special promo code to save a few bucks on your tickets. We do look forward to seeing you there. Now, our guest today, excuse me, is Jay MacGill. Jay is the sales director of Griffin IT. They're based in Tampa, Florida. Jay, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. For those of you who don't, for those of us who don't know you, could you give us a little bit background on you, how your history, and then how you got to Griffith IT?
Sure. So we are a secondary market supplier of hardware. We cater specifically to MSPs. We provide a 3-year advanced replacement warranty, which typically is a full unit swap with little to no questions asked. We also do a net 90 consignment option, nicknamed Puppies. We'll dive on that later. But essentially, that allows us to put some units on site with our MSPs that you can use as demo units to stick in front of users that are on the fence. You can use them as rapid RMA spares. And whenever those rehome, you'll be able to come into the portal, bill yourself, and order more. Main reason we're doing this webinar is we have opened up an ordering portal, and automation is sweet. I'm looking forward to sharing this with everybody. And any of the MSPs joining this or looking in to reach out as a result of this webinar, we'll be putting a $50 coupon on your account for your first purchase. So
That's cool. And for those of you listening, that coupon we will drop in the show notes, I guess, right? For them to do it, or you'll just
yeah,
yeah.
when I create their account, I'll put it on there. So
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So tell us a little bit before we get into a demo of you and I went through it a little bit, which looks awesome. So, but before we get into it, tell us a little bit about the program. I know you gave us a quick overview, but just give us a little.
Yeah, I can dive a little more. And so this program was spawned kind of as a response to common pains that MSPs are experiencing in the hardware world, either when they're trying to buy new or trying to buy refurb. So on one end of the spectrum, you have new stuff straight from, I'm going to use Dell as an example. New Dell, new on-site warranty. If your customer can afford new and there's no lead time issues, don't fix what isn't broken. That's great. Keep them buying new. When you have customers that want more options, either because their budgets are tight or, common nowadays, there's a lot of product you just can't get quickly enough, or they tell you it's 6 weeks out and then 5 weeks in, they're like, oh, it's going to be another 10 weeks. It's not viable for business. So, we come in with a 3-year advanced replacement option to kind of mirror somewhat of the warranty you would get from, new. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, you have, the cheapest break fix stuff you can find on eBay. We're going to be more expensive than that. We're kind of, a middle tier, but we play the backup option to new very well. And of course, we're very rapid and responsive when it comes to getting issues resolved. Particularly if you have any of these consignment equipment on site, you actually don't have to call us for warranty needs first. You can just grab and go, get the customer up right, and call us later to backfill. That's kind of how I like to beat Dell with their own product.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Now, for MSPs who are what other, is it just Dell, or what products do you sell?
Oh, so on the PC laptop side, we do the three big ones. We have Dell, HP, Lenovo, and with those, we don't have a ton of variety. It's kind of a handful of standardized config. It's going to be, like with the Dells, a couple OptiMicros, a couple Latitudes. Everything's going to be i5, 8 or 16 gig of RAM, 256 SSD. Those specs you can upgrade from there. But that's just kind of the base spec. And we're like a one-trick pony for those. I'll get the request like, Jay, I need a precision 17-inch with the GPU. It's like, go to Dell. I have this here. Do you want this? Which is great because you want to kind of keep your users on a standardized platform in that realm. Now, on the opposite side, the PoE stuff, as you can see behind me, lots of variety. You'll see a mix of new and refurb. You'll see that's kind of like, what do you need? We'll see if we can hunt it for you. We'll see if we can stock it for you, if the pricing makes sense. We do have some new and refurb Ubiquity in here. I know Ubiquity is very scarce in the market. We also do a 3-year advanced replacement warranty on Ubiquity, which is interesting because I'm pretty sure you only get a year or two warranty from factory on Ubiquity. We have Meraki. We have a lot of Cisco, new and refurb, and some other one-offs, HP Aruba, Juniper. We have some Dell switches, a lot of stuff in the portal that you'll see.
Okay, cool.
Oh, and we also do, I'm sorry, we also do custom refurb server builds. Those are not in this portal. That's on a different system. For that, just email me kind of ballpark specs you're looking for, and I can throw some numbers together for you.
Okay, cool. So I think we probably should jump into the portal and just see what it looks like, and we'll add it up here. We created we created an account for me, so this only works for me, guys. So don't go and try to order in my account.
Right, yeah. To add on to that, this portal is not publicly accessible for good reason. We don't want end users coming here and trying to shop around you guys. This is just for MSPs. So before we get in, I do need to create an account for you. So I need to reach out to me, and you can use this video as they walk through. So up until this point, each of our MSPs have had this individual walkthrough chat. And as a sales guy, it's probably a good idea for me to talk to the MSPs anyways, but but for moving forward, this will be a great tool for anyone that needs a refresher on the steps, or just simply doesn't have time to sit down and chat one-on-one. This should be a good resource for you. You do need to have an Office 365 account or a Google account to be able to get in and access the portal. If you are self-hosted, cool, send me a freebie Gmail account, and that's going to be the easiest way to get in for you.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask. Is that Gmail? Is that Google has to be the Google Workspace account, right? And then
any just freebie Google account works.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, Office 365. It will ask you some permissions. Are you who you say you are? Ordering on behalf of your organization, and if you have two-factor, it's going to ask you if you're okay. Initiating the two-factor authentication.
Okay, so we'll just pop in here.
Yeah, if you want to bring up the initial page, and that page it's going to be shop.griffinit.com. And when you get there, this is the page you'll see. So go ahead and click login using. You were Microsoft, right, Rick?
Microsoft, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I think it's going to let him. We already went through the permission, so he should just be hopping straight in. There you go.
Okay.
So once you get here, you're going to see, a bulletin board up top, which actually, Rick, you can go ahead and hit exit off of that. Across the top, you see your credit terms. Those terms, anything shipping on terms will be on that net 90 consignment window. And we'll talk a little more on that in a minute. You got some highlights there in the middle, but you're probably going to be most interested in the inventory. So on the left-hand side, you have inventory and orders. Let's start with inventory. So right now it's sorting by most in stock. You can see those little $350 Dell OptiMicro 7050s. 206 on the shelf. The green circles, those are actual stock counts on the shelf. Ruckus APs, 196 of those. The Latitude 5400 8th gens, 134. Sticking with Dell as an example, I want to show you the easiest way to sort. Over on your right near the top, there's a search bar. Go ahead and type in Opti. And you guys will notice as soon as you put OPTI, boom, instantly filters out. So the Windows 11 compatible machines, you'll see the you'll see the actual colorful Windows logo there on the left. The ones that are only 10 compatible, we've removed that logo because we wanted the 11s to kind of stick out to your eye a little bit more. And the specs that you see are how they sit on the shelf, and you have the ability to upgrade those specs as you're checking out. I'll touch more on that in a minute. Real quick, type in UB for Ubiquity. And then look at this, actual Ubiquity on the shelf, 22 APs. Looks like there's an HP that got mixed in there. I got some switches, some PoE switches. And if, as far as determining if it's new or refurbished, you want to look at that item code column in the middle. And in there, it'll mention refurb. Let's see, to the left.
Oh, right here. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. So somewhere in that column is where it's going to say new open box or refurb. So on the PoE side, you'll see a mix of new and refurb. PC laptops will all be refurb. Cool. Let's type in. Go back to your search bar. Type in 5400 for me. So you'll notice there's 5 iterations of the same Dell laptop model. The bulk of the stock is that top one, 134 of the 8 gig 256s. The other ones are a couple one-offs that already had the RAM or drive upgraded and or their touchscreen. So rather than the ones that are upgraded, rather than break them down into the base spec, we just left them in there and added a SKU. So anytime you see multiple iterations, it's because there's a difference in the spec or like I mentioned, touchscreen. The last 2 you'll see after Win 10 Pro, there's a T hiding in there in that item code spec. To your right and down.
This one here. Oh, down
Up
here.
to the right. Yeah, item code in the middle.
Okay.
Yep,
okay.
there you go. Yeah, I see a little T hiding in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, so that's a touchscreen. Now, if you click on the thumbnails, it'll bring up more info, and it'll also tell you there as well. But let's say that's something you're looking for. Rather than clicking on a bunch of different thumbnails looking for it, you can quickly scroll up and down that item code column. Yeah, see top right, it mentions touch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, and then similar separation with the tinies and micros as far as Wi-Fi and non-Wi-Fi. Those will be different SKUs. So you'll see like 2 iterations of a 7080 micro. One's Wi-Fi, one's not. Let's run through upgrading spec. Let's add to cart that top one. Yep, that 5400 for 600. And by the way, pretty much all of our equipment that we sell comes with a 3-year advanced replacement warranty. Exceptions are going to be some clearance items here and there. We might put a 1 year on, but I'd say like 95% of the stuff in the store is going to be 3-year. All right, so to upgrade the spec, you want to go to the right and go down, find your search bar again, and type in RAM. Oh, there it is. Yep, type in RAM. Now you have 2 options, 8 gig and 16. You already have 8 gig in the machine, so you want to add 8 to be at 16 in total. So common mistake will be adding a 16 gig stick. You would actually be at 24, and the warehouse is going to kick the order back and laugh at me for not training you properly. Same thing for drive upgrades. Type in SSD in your search bar. Then you see your 500 gig upgrades and your 1 terabyte upgrades. The 500 gig drives typically are new. The 1 terabyte drives we have are used. I have no problem with our MSPs buying a new 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte and throwing them in our machines. We'll still warranty the rest of the machines. And any other vendor will tell you if you change anything in there, you're done.
Right.
I'm fine with. I trust our MSPs to swap out the drives if they want to put in, a drive that we don't stock. Just make a note of it somewhere so that if we do have to warranty swap the machine at some point, to pull that out.
Okay.
Cool. Go ahead and add to cart one of those guys and scroll back up. So at this point, you want to ask yourself, do I want this to ship on terms or do I want to prepay? And the answer to that is the little slider button at the top left of your cart that right now says Puppy. Puppy is the nickname for the demo unit consignments, and it plays on the old sales joke. The joke is, how do you sell a puppy? The answer is here, play with this dog for a week. So what you can do is, check out a machine or 2 on Puppy, have it as a spare on the shelf. You get a customer that, for whatever reason, they're on the fence, but they need to refresh. Set it up, stick it in front of them for a week, come back and try and take it away a week later and see what happens. Most of the time, they're going to be like, no, this is fine. You can bill me. And so that essentially we want to make it easier for you to sell hardware. And by having demo units available, that tends to help.
Right.
So right now it's on Puppy. You'd be checking out with terms and you'll see that it displays your terms across the top. Now, let's say you don't want to do terms. You want to prepay. Click that button. It'll say regular and your terms will go away. Yep. Just like that. Okay. So depending on how you want to do it, keep it on regular for now. But that's pretty much it. Scroll back up a little bit. PO number needs to go in the reference box. We cannot easily edit that after the order is in, so make sure that you put your PO there if you want it. And then if there's any special notes you want to send to the warehouse that will not be on the invoice, that's what your notes box is on the left.
Okay.
All right, hit go to checkout on the right. Make sure I copy and pasted your address correctly on the left. And you'll notice that the address highlights blue when you hover over it. You do need to click on it while it's highlighted in order to designate it. You'll see it remains blue after you pull your mouse away. You have to tell the system where you want to ship it. If you don't select an address and try and check out, it'll bark at you and give you a gray error box. Now, if you want to direct ship to any of your end users, you can just add their address there. Every shipment is a white label blind shipment. No invoice or pricing, no paperwork at all inside. Return label is going to say shipping department. Address, if they were to get curious and pull it up in Google Maps, they'll see another business that we share the warehouse lot with. So we do a lot of blind shipments for MSPs. Just add their address, ship it right there. They'll be none the wiser where it came from.
Okay. And that's how you add a new address. Okay.
Yep. And if you were to edit your default address, it'll keep the original and then add the new one. Right now, it's just builds addresses in there. Later down the road, as we continue to upgrade this, you'll be able to remove addresses that you don't want in there. All right. What else we got? Summary on the bottom left. Over on the right, you have apply promo code. This is one of my favorite features. You actually don't need any actual codes. You hit that and it will populate any active store-wide discounts going on or any coupons we put on your account. So for anyone watching this that we get set up in the portal, this is where you're going to find your one-time $50 coupon. Okay. And then it'll be there. You click apply and then it gets applied. Cool. Exit out of there. And then your last step on the top right says ready for invoicing. If it's on terms, it'll say send a packaging. If it's on terms, but you don't have enough terms, it'll say send for credit approval, but same button, same location. And now here at your final page, if you hit yes, Pinocchio becomes a real boy. The order becomes real, order processes. For our sake, since it's a dry run, hit no. But that would be the final step. So go to your orders page, far left. Ignore the fact that the little slider just switched on you. That's just a little. and look, quick note for everybody. This is a young portal. There's many upgrades coming to it over the next year. But if at any point in time you feel like you're a beta tester, you're not wrong. if we were to completely polish this off, it would be another year before it'd be released. So, okay, orders page. Important things to know on this. As you start to fill this with orders, emphasis on you filling this with orders. Left-hand side action column is where you're going to be living the most. You're going to have, if it's a prepay, your pay button is there ready to go. We use 0 for invoicing. You click that, you go to the invoice page. You can do credit card, ACH, PayPal, all that jazz. With the Puppy consignment orders, your pay button is not there until you tell the system you're ready for your invoice. So the learning curve is most places you order from on terms, they send you like a net 30 or a net whatever invoice at that time. Our system is not like that. You have to come in and tell the system, hey, I'm ready for my invoice. And the reason is, let's say you have a demo unit, you've had it for 2 months, you just sold it. When you bill it, the warranty starts at that date once you've sold it.
Which is
doesn't
awesome.
Start 2 months before when we originally shipped the machine. So, and as far as doing that, the actual going through the steps, what you'll do is you'll open the order. Next to the service tags, you'll have little check mark boxes, and same thing with any of the RAM upgrades or drive upgrades. And you go check, check, and at the bottom, select for invoicing. It'll ask you if you're sure. And then at that point, you've told the system you're ready for your bill. Then your pay button appears on the left. Okay. So, and that's like one of the most common questions I get when, I'll do these tours with our MSPs, and 2 or 3 weeks later, they're like, hey, Jay. And first most common question is, hey, Jay, what's that link again? So bookmark the link. Second most common question, Jay, how do I bill myself again? Which is, again, this: go in for consignment, open, check off the tags, mark for invoicing. And then the third most common question is, Jay, where'd all the laptops go? So the list will time out on occasion. Go back to your inventory list. And what you want to pay attention to is it sorting by most in stock or least in stock? Okay, so right now we're good. It's all green circles and 200 plus on the shelf. If you come here and it's red or yellow circles and starting by least in stock, your search bar will not work. You'll type in Dell, nothing shows up. What you got to do is hit that go button on the top right. That'll resort the list. As long as you're seeing it by most in stock, you're good to go. Now we do have a category drop down bar up there. It's super basic. It can be used. You click it and then hit go afterwards. But this whole thing is going to be completely overhauled. I use this portal all day, every day. I find myself having the most fun using the search bar because I can just type in latitude, or I can type in 15-inch, or type in Unify, or whatever, and it filters instantly.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much the bulk of it. The terms are good for the networking equipment too, so you can grab a unit, stick it on your shelf, and self bill after you move it. And we got some Axis cameras in there. That's kind of a one-off. We got a bunch of Ruckus APs. There is an expedited ship button, but do not process that until you reach out to me first. Reason is I'll need to first. You're probably calling me in a panic to get something overnight. So you're making sure A, can we pull it off? B, I need to go in there and see what the actual cost is, adjust in the system. At that point, I'm probably just going to process the order for you, make sure the warehouse has the information they need. So whatever price you see in there for expedited shipping, that was the last fire somebody called me about. That's how much it is out to get it. But but that's like the whole purpose of the puppy program is to reduce stress when it comes to RMAs. I want you to have a spare unit or two on the shelf for these time sensitive fires. So it's like, every now and then I get that call at 4:00 on a Friday. Jay, I need this overnighted. And every single time I send them two. Here's one for this fire. Here's a puppy for the next fire in 2 or 3 months. And it's been a good time, man. I really enjoy what we do. And again, custom refurb server builds, those are going to be 3-year advanced replacement by component. You're not going to see them in this system, but just hit me up with kind of what you're looking for. Cool. The market for tower chassis is not great since COVID. So they're a little bit more expensive, a little less available. We do have some towers, but it's like 2 or 3 in stock versus pallets and pallets and pallets and pallets of racks. So anytime we can do a rack build, it's going to be cheaper and faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, thanks for that. For those of you who are listening to us, you're going to have to see the demo here. Those of you who like to listen to us on the podcast, you just catch us out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/MSP Unplugged to catch this episode here. We'll put a link to the actual video show in the notes for the podcast as well. But Jay, I do have a couple of questions.
Sure.
One of them you started on is on a normal time that I need to order. What is the shipping turnaround?
Usually we're pretty quick. Yeah. So we are East Coast. We are the Tampa, Central Florida area. If we receive the order by about noon, it's probably shipping same day. After 1:00, minutes count because the UPS usually shows up at about 3:00. All the prices you see in the system include UPS ground, so there's no additional cost for shipping. Any warranty shipping back and forth, we also cover the shipping. And if you have a consignment machine that's running up towards the end of that net 90 window, we will also send you a return label for it to come back, and you are not on the hook for the cost of any returned equipment as far as consignment goes. So actually touching back on that, because we didn't talk too much on it. Let's say you get a micro and a laptop, you stick them on the shelf. You and I, or the MSP and I, will get reminder emails at the 30-day, 60-day, and 75-day mark. My job is to reach out around the 60-day mark and say, hey, did you sell this and do you need to bill it, or do you need a return label? We need to get it returned by the end of the 90 days because at 91 days, the system auto bills you and you own it. And that's a little bit, I have to open a ticket to send to developers to undo that, and it costs me money to reverse that. So it's in my interest to make sure that if any equipment is being returned, that you have your return label and enough buffer time to get it back in time. So and if we get to that point and the demos aren't selling, it's cool. we'll ship them back. You can still use the system and do regular orders as needed. The MSPs that do well with the system will pick up 1 or 2 machines, find a home for them sometime in the next 3 months, build themselves, order some more, and then depending on how quickly you're selling through them, we'll dial your terms up. If you're selling through 10 laptops a month, let's stick 5 or 10 machines on your shelf, and then that way you can have stock ready to go. And then as you start to burn through your stock, re-up and get some more.
Cool.
And no cash flow tied up on your end. That's the big thing is, a lot of MSPs already do this, but you tie up capital in it and you have things that are depreciating. You essentially have a break fix operation in-house. And, it's like, some of the MSPs we talk to, they've started in break fix. They still do some break fix in-house, and they're okay buying, whatever the cheapest machine they can find on eBay and fixing it up and selling it. And cool. If that works for you, great. The MSPs we tend to fit well with are the guys that recoil in terror at the idea of having a break fix operation in-house. Yeah. So
I don't have time for that.
Right. You're right. Because you think about it, it's like, okay, if you have a break fix or if you have a refurb operation in-house, you're essentially doing what we're doing. You need space, you need staff, you need parts. If you order something and it's beyond, and you find out it's bad and it's beyond its return window, which is usually like 30 days, you're hosed on that cost. Like there's a lot of time and money goes into sustaining a fleet of refurbs. So on our end, yeah, we charge more than most refurbers, but that's also because we cover it for 3 years. We offer net 90 consignment. You got Matt here, who's awesome. I love Matt. He's our PoE guy, by the way. I specialize on the PC laptops and servers. Matt and Sam over here. She also does a lot of our other stuff.
Hi, Sam.
So I'm in their room right now.
Okay, I got you. And you guys are busy, so that's good.
Yeah, we're staying busy, which is good. Staying good. I got off track with what I was saying, but we do refurb stuff. I would like to think that the value we add to it is useful. And for the MSPs that do well with the program, they like having some machines on the shelf without, cost sunk into them that they can stick out as demo units or, rapid RMA swaps. Because, as you start to, keep the users that like new, keep them on new, everyone else start wrangling them into a standardized refurb option. So like, a couple Lenovo Tiny, a Lenovo Tiny model, ThinkPad model, or same thing on the Dell. We'll get them on get everyone onto either a 14-inch latitude, 15-inch latitude, or a micro. And then as you start getting more and more of these deployed, stick 1 or 2 on the shelf, and then you can just start divvying them out as needs arise.
Right. It sounds great. And then the good thing about it is, and I hop on this, is the warranty portion of this. I think that's awesome because one of the issues with getting refurbs is you usually get 30 days, 90 days, or you can buy up to a 1-year warranty on it. Or
they charge you extra. And those are mostly depot warranties. So with the exception of like new on-site warranty, most refurb warranties are you got to mail it off and you have no idea when that machine's coming back.
Exactly.
That's not viable for business. So at that point, you're buying spares. And if you're buying spares, congratulations, you bought yourself a refurb break fix program in-house that you didn't want. So on our end, we do a 3-year advanced replacement. We don't ask a ton of questions. Even just yesterday, I was talking with one of my MSPs and kind of some of the horror stories with new, where Dell requires a remote diagnosis, and if they can't replicate that problem, you're hosed. They tell you to pound sand. They don't care. My job's easy. Does it work? Does it not work? Oh, it doesn't work. Here's another one. It's great. I love my job.
Yeah,
I don't fight too much. Now there will be situations where it might make more sense to send just a part. Laptop batteries are a good example. So we do check the batteries for a good or excellent health during the initial QC process, and we do warranty our batteries for 3 years. Even the places that offer that 1 year, 2 year, maybe 3-year warranty usually are still 30 days on the battery, no exceptions. Not us. We will warranty it for that duration. But let's say you have a user that always has the laptop plugged in 24/7. It cooks the battery a year down the road. You need another battery. If you're able to go on site and quickly change a battery, it's going to be a lot easier for me just to send you a new battery as opposed to sending a full unit swap and migrating them onto a new machine. So the whole push for the program is reducing downtime for the customer and just trying to be flexible with our MSPs. What's the situation? What do you need? And as far as the RMA process goes, in about a month or two, the RMA process will be baked into the portal. So you'll be able to go search the service tag, highlight the service tag for RMA, add a description, add a picture, hit a button, it comes to me. Until then, right now, it's how it's historically been is just reach out to me if you have any problems. Most of our MSPs will do a little basic troubleshooting. If it's not a quick fix, hit me up. If it's not a quick fix over the phone, I'm not going to fight you. Here's another machine. Or you already have a puppy on the shelf and you haven't called me because you don't need to call me because you already grabbed and got the customer up right, and you're calling me on the back end to backfill.
To flip that machine back.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's cool. Hey, I love the fact, as an MSP, I love the fact of the simplicity of it. And it sounds to me like you guys understand our plight just as, and will help us to eliminate a lot of that, I'll just say minutia that comes with trying to basically RMA a machine or get something fixed. So
yeah, Dell doesn't love you. I do. I love you. As I tell my husband, love you long time. So yeah, we try. Matt's cracking up over here in the corner. He's rolling laughing over there. Yeah.
Well, at least you know something.
I had one more other note for you, but I was slipping my mind. As far as like model consistency and pricing consistency. So on the PCs and laptops, we try and keep the models and the pricing consistent month to month. And I mean, every now and then a model will age out and we add the newest one. So, but like, I love using Dell as an example, just because we started the program on Dell. So there's a little more variety on the standard platforms we have for that, but it's going to be a 7000 series Optiplex or a 5000 series Latitude. But you're not going to see prices all over the road. So common thing with, like some new Dell specials, it's like, hey man, there's this killer deal on Dell micros. Great. You go and you buy it for a customer. 6 months later, they want the same thing. It's not real anymore. That sale is I'm gone. So on our end, we have it a little bit more, smoothed out and stable as far as product availability.
Sounds good. We looks like I'm still scrolling through, and I'm sorry about that because I was just looking.
No, you're good. There's a lot of fun stuff. I love this portal, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's made my life. My entire workday has gone from manually entering orders and doing my farming within the Facebook groups to now I'm just pretty much training all my MSPs to how to use the portal, make sure they know how to use the portal efficiently, and these little intro chats that we're doing right here. I think I've done about 350 of them since February. So the brain's a little fried from that, but it's good. It's a great problem to have.
Yeah, really definitely. Yeah, and I think it's a for our listeners out there, I think it's a great option because some of us do use the refurb market. Again, I hop on the warranty because that's probably most important to me when you're dealing with refurbs is if something goes wrong, can you swap it out or are you stuck basically with it after a while? So I love that option, and I think the simplicity of you guys understanding our plight and saying, okay, hey, if you need to swap it out, I'm not going to give you that much of a hard time as long as there's a legitimate reason. We'll work with you, and I appreciate that.
Totally.
As a consumer.
Yeah, I like to keep my MSPs happy. Now, granted, can't keep everybody happy, but we do try. If it's not working, you get another one. Most of the time we're shipping stuff ground. If it's on fire, we can look at overnighting. But again, having a puppy on the shelf tends to reduce that stress.
Right.
I think we covered pretty much everything.
I was just about to ask if you.
As far as reaching out to me, I dropped. Rick, you're probably putting out my my email on my phone. I'm also super active on the MSP Facebook groups. We're a sponsored vendor and a handful of the large groups out there. So feel free to hit me up on Facebook and send me a message there. J, 2 middle initials, KJ, then MacGill. I dropped that in there for you, Rick, so you can put that out to people.
I'm actually dropping it on the banner right now on the bottom,
right
but it will also be in all of our show notes. So there's Jay's Facebook right there. So if you guys are looking to contact them, There's a way. And again, of course, in the show notes, both on the video and on the audio side of this, you can find contact information for Jay, for Griffith, the phone number, as well as any email that you might need to, excuse me, to connect to them. Jay, I do want to thank you for your time today. I'm going
to give you guys the quick little.
Okay, we'll take a little tour as we're signing off
here.
Yeah,
there's all the networking stuff. Then out here, it's kind of like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory of grief for goodness. There's a bunch of 80s art murals all over the wall.
Hey guys, I was gonna say, guys, pay attention to the art murals in the back.
Yeah, we got Gremlins, Power the Duck up there,
and Jay told me he'd spent all his time drawing all of this out himself.
That's right. So. Hand penciled in. Yeah, we got it. There you go. Oh yeah, that's right.
So they actually have product, folks.
Yeah, stock is king.
But again, Jay, I want to thank you for your time today. I encourage everyone, if you're into the refurb market, if you're interested, reach out to Jay, reach out to Griffith, and see what they can do for you. Paco and I will actually, as we always do, give a little update on things that we try or we check out. So if it comes to a point where he and I do it and anybody wants any feedback from us, feel free to contact us at info@mspunplugged.com. But from there, I do want to just thank everyone for tuning in today. We invite you to watch the video podcast on youtube.com/MSP Unplugged, or catch us on our Facebook group at facebook.com/MSP Unplugged. Do us a favor here, like, subscribe, hit that notification button to be notified whenever a new episode is available. If you'd like to take us on the go, you can catch us on your favorite podcatcher app. We're on Amazon Music, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, just to name a few. For MSP Unplugged, for Jay, I'd like to thank you all for listening today, and we'll see you next time on the show.
Thanks for having me. Take care.